Let's start wrapping up the markets and start off with the large caps as would be the norm. Navneet is waiting by with those details. Navneet.
Well, Neeraj, we conclude the first week of 2018, though we started off not on a very great note, but I'll say it's been a great week because we're closing in the positive, and not only that, it's all-time high closing for Nifty. 10,560 is the mark where it is about to close. Sensex to around the all-time high levels, higher by 212 points. And for Bank Nifty, which you just highlighted, I'll say it's a very positive closing because it's closing above the mark of 25,500, which most of the technical analysts were watching. And good gains once again from the broader markets. Nifty mid-cap free float index up almost 1%. The small cap index also seeing the same amount of gains, and the BSE small cap index has seen gains of almost 183 points. Let's look at the Sensex constituents then and see which were the stocks which contributed the most. Well, you can see more of green on the screen today, so a good day to end the week. Yes Bank, the counter was pretty active right from the word go in the morning, closing the day with gains of 5%. Adani Port, in fact, the entire Adani Group stocks have been quite active this week, gains of 3.7%. Your heavyweight IndusInd Bank also performed pretty well. The telecom stocks were active, so Bharti Airtel gained in the second half of the session. That was up nearly 3%. HDFC, another heavyweight. TCS did pretty well, and also you had stocks like Tata Steel, which continues to go up. ITC, another heavyweight on the index, did well. HDFC Bank also was up and about. On the losing side, very few losers, I'll call it. ONGC was your top loser. Wipro down almost 1%. Among the heavyweights, you had stocks like State Bank of India, L&T, and ICICI Bank, which ended the day in the red. Pradeep.
Yeah, and if you look at the mid-cap names, GM Breweries is the one stock that we have been talking about since morning. Excellent set of numbers, and towards the end, it finally hit the 20% upper circuit. As you can see, Symphony was, although a surprise gainer in last half an hour of trade, stock moved up by 13-14%. Finally ending the day with gains of almost 18%. Subros is a stock that we discussed in detail during this show, and we also spoke with the management. But look at the last minute move here, and this stock also logged at 20% upper circuit. Some of the mid-cap names would include mid-cap cement like Prism that went up. We also had some interesting gainers like Pokarna that traded strong through the day, finally closing with good volumes. Idea continued to move up for second day in a row. And while Jan Irrigation is of course barred for fresh positions in FNO, Jan Irrigation DVR continued to move up, and it gained around 8% in today's trade. A few losers, just two that I would like to mark because they moved up quite a bit earlier. Orient Green Power, the stock has been moving up for a few sessions now, lost heavily. Significant selling pressure here, down 7.5%. And also Orient Pro Solution that had gained yesterday is down in today's trade with good volume. So looks like a little bit of rotation. A few stocks that had moved up significantly have seen some selling. Otherwise, very, very strong market breadth.
Yeah, and that sums it all actually. There's nothing more to add but for the fact that I can bring up what's happened to the top contributors list, and 2 days in a row now, while we close at live highs, 2 days in a row now, we've had good solid gains at the large cap end of the market. This is the contributors list. Some small downticks that have come in from not really constructive downticks, just an iffy move for the likes of SBI and ICICI, but really strong move for Yes Bank in the session today. It's not normally that you see a weightage of 1.5% contributing so high to the Nifty move, and that's virtue of the kind of move that we've had in Yes Bank today. But banks and financials by and large, Bharti Airtel doing well, and maybe I spoke too soon because yesterday I was talking about how we didn't need the HDFC twins to contribute to the market move, which was the case yesterday, but packed. HDFC's come back and top of the pile, up contributing about 9 odd points to the overall move. So good going really. And for the week as well, if I can just pull up what the week has done, you will see that we didn't need too many banks. State Bank of India maybe, but the likes of Coal India and some of the others were the best performing stocks. So Coal India up 5%. Yes Bank courtesy today's move. Otherwise it was nowhere in this list. But Tata Steel, Adani Ports, L&T, we haven't had too many large banks contribute. So the HDFC twins are missing from here. Reliance Industries is missing from here. So the non-ITC is missing from here. And yet we've had a fairly decent week with the Nifty while contributing only 0.2% because of the yo-yos that we've seen. But the last 2 days, looking very, very healthy, and we're ending at life highs for ourselves. Some losses that came in for the oil marketing companies and auto names like Eicher and Maruti Suzuki, but that was probably par for the course. Anyways, final thoughts from our experts. And Rajat, if I may, oil shooting up the way it is, while it has an impact on the fisc and the macro and so on and so forth, the listed space doesn't seem to be too worried. We're not seeing downstream really correct too much. Yes, the OMCs have gone down a bit, but nothing too dramatic. And the same vein, aviation is not getting impacted. ONGC is only showing a marginal uptick. What's happening here?
No, so I think that's primarily because, in bull markets, large caps like these don't fall that much because essentially a lot of these stocks are held by mutual funds, and then, basket selling does not happen in these stocks when market is going up. So even if crude prices, keep rising, maybe individually people won't buy these stocks, but most of the stocks that you've spoken about, there's a lot of money going consistently into these stocks via, your SIPs and lump sum investments in mutual funds. But personally, we've spoken about this last time also. I'm actually staying away from both exploration companies and oil marketing companies. We have recently added Mahanagar Gas to our portfolio. So both IGL and Mahanagar Gas, I think, are, better bets to buy in the energy space right now. But in terms of what stocks could do well going forward from here, a lot of the stocks that you just spoke about, which did not make it in the list, which did not sort of pull the Nifty up. You were talking about Infosys, ITC, I think Colgate Palmolive. A lot of these consumption-themed stocks, they've not really done much for a while. And my sense is that if market keeps rallying like this, that's where you'll see, these stocks will come in and, take Nifty to newer highs if that has to happen.
Okay. Adrian, one stock that you would like to trade next week?
Yeah, I'll go with Dr. Reddy's. The stock is actually, after a long consolidation, broken out from this typical cup and handle pattern breakout. And today's move has actually confirmed that we have broken out from this pattern, and in fact also closed above its long-term 200-day moving average after a long time. So I think Dr. Reddy could be a good bet in the coming week. You can expect target of 25.50 from here on, and your stop losses should be close to 24.20.
Okay, Adrian, as well as Rajat, thank you so much for joining me today and giving us your thoughts, and have a great weekend.